would you look at that? The Pacific Ocean, the edge of the world, the Southern California coastline. It's funny, I've lived less than 30 miles from the beach almost my entire life, but I honestly very rarely come down here. It's a beautiful place, and there is a little Pacific saltwater right in my DNA somehow. But I must admit that I don't come down here nearly as often as I probably should. Most of the time, I simply just don't think about it. But one of the few things that does bring me down here to Huntington/Sunset Beach on a pretty regular basis is just a stone's throw from the beach, over the sand and across the street. One of the coolest, most unique places in all of Southern California, and especially in Orange County, which is sadly going away forever very soon. It almost breaks my heart, but we're gonna have to say goodbye to what was basically our own piece of paradise. Don the Beachcomber. The ultimate, the greatest Southern California Tiki Temple, Don the Beachcomber, is finally and officially this time closing up shop. Now this has been on the horizon for years. It's not really a surprise that it was going to happen. It's always kind of just been a matter of when, but now that it's actually happening, I find myself getting so sad. I mean, not only have we had a ton of adventures in this faux paradise, but this place is truly historic. Not just Don the Beachcomber. There have been several Don the Beachcombers. It was a chain at one point. But this actual building, which before it was Don the Beachcomber, was known as Sam's Seafood. The history of Sam's Seafood is a little bit long and a little bit confusing. But from what we can gather from local lore, two brothers by the name of George and Sam Arvanitis opened up a bait shop between Sunset Beach and Seal Beach down here along the coast, and eventually started serving seafood where they let customers pick their dinner out of a fish pond that they had on the property with all kinds of seafood in it, and they would let you pick what you wanted to eat. It was also rumored that back in the prohibition days of Sam's Seafood, there were even tunnels running down to the beach where they could smuggle in hooch. By the 1940s, the operation had gotten so big that they built a 400-seat Neptune room where they had big band music and entertainment, and apparently quite a variety of seafood, because their motto became, if it swims, we have it. They had lobster, they had crab, they even had turtle steak. Some of the history of the early locations is a little bit hazy, but what we do know for sure is that by 1947, just after World War II, Sam's Seafood opened up this location. The layout was pretty similar to what we see today, but it wasn't tiki at all. In fact, it would take a disaster to make Sam's Seafood a tiki paradise. On February 17th, 1959, at 3 o'clock in the morning, Sam's Seafood burned pretty much to the ground. But instead of letting the restaurant go the way of the buffalo, new owners Nick, Ruth, and Richard Katsaris decided to invest $1 million. Oh, excuse me, $1 million in rebuilding Sam's Seafood as the ultimate tropical paradise. In 1960, this new and improved Sam's Seafood would open. And that's the building that we know and love and are looking at today. And would you look at the size of this place. 6 rooms of tropical seafood madness, including the giant Hawaiian Village, as it was known then. It could seat 600 people at a time, served 45,000 customers a month, and was open 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now fast forward 45 or 50 years, and the tiki craze had obviously died down quite a bit from its heyday in the middle of the century. And in the early 2000s, Sam's Seafood was struggling to keep open. Actually, for a while, it was renamed Kona, kind of a weird period. But by 2009, there was a new sheriff in town, a new owner by the name of Art Snyder, who had acquired the rights to the name Don the Beachcomber, a very legendary tiki chain in its own right, and with a true passion for the tropical tiki community and nautical nonsense of every description, this place reopened as Don the Beachcomber. Now this place already had a lot of legendary and historic tiki accoutrements, Ma hanging around. But Art and his wife Delia decided that this place needed even more. So they hired the legendary tropical construction wizard Bamboo Ben to give this already insane tiki icon an even more incredible super tiki makeover. And so for the last 10 years, Don the Beachcomber has ruled supreme in Southern California as the ultimate mid-century style tiki destination. Unfortunately, just a few years ago, Art Snyder sadly passed away. Couple that with the owners of the land really wanting to get rid of Don the Beachcomber so they could put up some more condos. And for the last several years, it's been a really brave struggle to keep the doors open here. They fought and they fought while the rent doubled and tripled. But at last, the word has come down. The end is nigh, and soon, Don the Beachcomber here at the legendary Sam's Seafood will be closing. There's going to be a few more events this weekend, and then that's it. The plug will be pulled. Hopefully, Don's will be able to relocate somewhere and take a lot of the tiki stuff with them. But today, I'm down here to say my own private, personal goodbye to Don the Beachcomber as we knew it. Because once Don's the business is out of this old Sam's Seafood building, it's not likely that this building is gonna survive. Now before we attempt to head inside for some tropical drinks, I just wanted to look around the outside while we still had a little daylight. Just look at this, even outside, even up against the street, we've got all kinds of tiki insanity. Look at this moai hiding out here greeting everyone. The amazing carved wooden sign. These tiki torches used to have fire every night. Although I haven't seen that too much lately. And everywhere down in these planters, you see these giant poles that you just used to see everywhere in Southern California at anything even remotely nautical themed, reminding you of some old, abandoned, long forgotten pier. You've got this awesome mid-century latticework ceiling out front of the building. And of course that iconic A-frame entrance set up to look a lot like it was made out of an old raft or something. And everywhere you look, you see bamboo, you see old rope work everywhere, ships, chains, lava rock, fishing nets galore. The whole thing looks like it could have been built on some forgotten tropical island by a beachcomber going down and pulling all kinds of refuse from the ocean and piece by piece creating this amazing tropical island paradise. Much like going to Disneyland, the theme of Don the Beachcomber was really well thought out. Only here, the layers of nautical history sometimes are real. Those old salt-corroded lamps and metal tiki torches, those weren't the work of creative Imagineers. Oh no, Don the Beachcomber earned its rust. It earned its weathering. And even though, like I said, they added a lot of little details 10 years ago or so, much like the building itself has a tiki history, a lot of those extra decorations came from other legendary but now closed tiki bars. I've known this was just a matter of when for years, but now that the end is actually coming and I'm actually standing out here, I'm kind of finding myself getting quite emotional. I had a lot of good times and good adventures even with you guys in this place. I've got a little bit of a lump in my throat, you guys. I'm kind of procrastinating on going inside since I know this is really our farewell. You'll have to pardon me if my eyes get sweaty with respect. But now it's time to go inside of Don the Beachcomber and spend some time with this legendary tiki temple one last time. Let's just take one more loving look at this entrance in the daylight. One last admiring gaze at the majesty, at the exotic splendor. And then we'll head inside this historic building, host to diplomat and beachcomber, prince and pirate, and feast our eyes. Oh man, look at this. Look at the entryway. Look at the majesty. It is glorious in here. It's gonna be a little weird filming in here today because some of the areas have already been closed off, at least for now. But any look at Don the Beachcomber is a good look. Look at this. Just the foyer is insane. I mean, what other place looks like this? If you're a fan of tiki stuff or exotica stuff or even Adventureland, you've got to appreciate this. So much detail, so many hidden little bits of theming. It's honestly incredible. incredible. Okay, but before I look around too much more, we've got to say hello to my good friend in here, who, by the way, you remember all that history I was telling you guys outside about Sam's Seafood and all that stuff? Well, the person who relayed all that information to me, the one who did all the research, is sitting down right over here. Spike Marble?
Seriously, how are you gonna show me?
Yeah.
Chewing?
Chewing. What a better introduction than a chewing introduction. Just look at this room here. This is called the Dagger Bar. It is absolutely chock full of tikis. And even more impressively, square bamboo. Why is square bamboo a big deal?
Because they don't make it anymore.
Like you can't just get it anywhere, right?
Yeah, no, I guess they broke bamboo in like a square thing. You know, one of those things.
Right, a box?
Yeah, thanks, a box. And then it turns into square bamboo.
That's crazy. Square bamboo. I would have never known this was a thing ever if I hadn't come to Don the Beachcomber and had it explained to me by Spike over there. Just look at all of these amazing tikis. They're painted some strange colors, but come on, that is so epic. It's like a real life tiki room where you can actually have a tiki cocktail. And I can't even count the number of nights that I've watched Spike's band, the Hula Girls, and all these other tiki-themed bands or retro-themed bands play in the Dagger Bar. Gosh, look at this place. It's legendary. Just this little sidebar. There's all kinds of amazing artwork in here, including this piece, which I believe is an original Leroy Schmo. So much thatch, so many different kinds of bamboo. And of course, what tiki bar would be complete without a collection of old school tiki mugs?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, the Dagger Bar is named for this old replica Roman dagger hanging up just up there that was supposedly owned by Don Beach, aka Don the Beachcomber. And according to legend, which is printed up conveniently right here, was stolen from the Waikiki Don the Beachcombers by a disgruntled, fired employee. And when Art Snyder acquired the rights to the Don the Beachcomber name, it was returned to Don the Beachcomber, and of course this became the Dagger Bar. Supposedly Don the Beachcomber acquired this thing in Italy during World War II, so it's a very meaningful artifact hanging up there behind that bar. Seriously, this place is full of so many little artifacts like that. It's got so many connections to so many other tiki bars and so many stories from all these people who have lived this strange, hedonistic sort of tiki lifestyle. Every square inch of this place is covered with so many different strange stories and tiki memories that for people in the tiki pop community, at least as far as the West Coast goes, this place is just absolutely legendary. Ground zero. And that's just the Dagger Bar, to say nothing of the main dining room area over here. Gosh, everywhere you look is something you wish you had in your own house, you know? It's your own private adventure land in this place. Look at this tiki right here. This apparently is a Milan Guanco tiki. So a lot of the tikis that are just cool enough by themselves actually have crazy tiki world provenance as very special, very beloved artifacts. You never know if you're gonna stumble across an actual authentic Fijian or Samoan or Tongan tablecloth or actual Pacific Island artifact, or if it was just something that was specially made 3 days ago. Just look at this, the rich texture. Again, we're just in the foyer area. You can see here they used to have some merchandise for sale, but at the moment, obviously, it's kind of gone the way of the dodo. I'm a little bummed out that these other rooms are closed, because over in one of the far rooms over there actually used to be the old Sam's Seafood gift shop, and until recently, I didn't know. They actually used to contain this crazy selection of tiki gifts and Polynesian gifts and exotic gifts, even stuffed alligators, crazy stuff. There's also, if you look really carefully, some leopard spotted, strange, rare bamboo back there. So I mean, this place is full of all kinds of crazy textures. Wow. Look at all of this stuff. So many crazy artifacts and so many crazy characters hanging around this place. You never know who you're gonna see here. Oh.
Hey.
Fake Tyler.
I'm here.
All right, it's time to cruise into the main dining room. Look at these beautiful murals on the wall. They would be enough to be impressive all on their own, but just look around this place. The lamps, the fan, the ceiling, the canoes, all these amazing old school booths. This alone would be enough to be impressive as a tiki joint, but then you see it. The mystical, the amazing, the wonderful fountain. Just look at that. That is amazing all by itself. But in case you're tempted to think that this is some sort of modern creation, this has been here for nearly 50-something years. Here's a photo of Nick and Ruth Kitsaris, the owners, back in 1960 when this place went full tiki. Standing right in front of this same waterfall with that same tiki. This is truly something special. Made out of real volcanic stone, including huge, giant, actual seashells and old school tiki carvings. Thousands upon thousands of people have enjoyed their seafood dinners, their tiki cocktails, their nights of romance and reverie, all while admiring this incredible waterfall fountain right here. I mean, you've been to a lot of places. You ever seen a place quite like this?
No, I love water features. They're like, I don't know, I'm enamored by water features.
It sounds like you're being sarcastic, but
No,
I know that you're actually telling the truth.
Legitimately love any water feature, especially if it's indoors. I don't know what that is. But
something magical about it. I someday aspire to own a house just so that I can have a water feature. Look at this Spike over here at Spike in the Camera on Instagram, getting his last minute photo shoots in here with beautiful models in front of the beautiful fountain.
Ruining my shoot here.
What? Am I making you laugh?
You're making her laugh.
Am I making you giggle?
You can make me giggle all you want, but not her.
Oh, okay. Be serious. Look at him getting these photos over here. Concentrate. Concentrate.
Very distracting.
Okay. We don't want to distract Spike too much, so while I have the opportunity, I want to show you guys the restroom. Normally, I would not film inside of a bathroom, but I have to. Look at these seahorses. They're just asking us to go inside the Don the Beachcomber restroom. Don't worry, no one else is in here, but I had to show you guys the most awkward urinals of all time. Because whenever you're over here by these very old-fashioned, necessities, there's quite a large gap into the other necessities. So trust me, when you had to go sit on the old iron throne over here and do some business, it was always...
I'm trying to search the
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. That's why we don't film in bathrooms. Sorry, guys. Wash your hands, Tyler. Come on.
I'm trying to check my Twitter, man.
Oh, sure.
Come on.
I'll miss you down the Beachcomber restroom, but I won't miss the smell. Ooh. Look back here in the hallway. This has been here the entire time I've been coming to Don the Beachcomber. They really all miss good old Art Snyder, founder of the feast. This has always been a particularly epic hallway because they've got pictures of the old Sam seafood as it used to be. Not only in this location, but even in previous incarnations. A lot of history in this building. A lot of history. Now at the moment, my favorite part of Don the Beachcomber is also closed. You wouldn't think so to look at it, but this right here was the entrance to the hidden village, the biggest section of Don the Beachcomber where we had Tiki Marketplace, and all those other adventures. Unfortunately, people have been hearing about how this place is going to close, and they've already started to try to take things. So at the moment, they're doing their best to prevent things like that from happening. So right now, we can't head in there, but we can always head back to the Dagger Bar, which contains a pretty cool relic. Check this out in the booth right here. Look at that poster. It's got a pretty familiar name on it. What is that again?
Poster for the first night that we ever played here at the Dagger Bar.
How many years ago was that?
What does it say? October 10th?
2010. Dude.
8 years ago. Over
How many shows?
Over 100 shows.
100 shows in this room.
In this room.
Dude. So you're feeling it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer.
The sadness.
Why are you touching it?
Gosh, I am really severely going to miss this place. The square bamboo, the old school tapa cloth, just so many textures and different types of thatching, artificial plants, real plants, fake tilers. Coming into Don the Beachcombers always felt like you were literally traveling back in time. You can vividly picture a time and place where all those GIs were returning from World War II, all those sailors with their memories of the South Pacific, trying to recapture just a little piece of the paradise they did not get to enjoy because they were busy fighting a war. And in this case, it's not just a room that happens to look like that time period. This is a room that also actually existed during that time period. Some of our grandparents actually came to this very room to escape from their memories of that war. I'm gonna miss you guys. Tiki! It's crazy because Spike has managed to unearth an old picture from this exact angle of the Dagger Bar, and there used to be very clearly visible square bamboo sort of railings that almost corral people into the center. It definitely makes sense why they got rid of them, given that they always had band performances in here and large crowds. But I love the fact that it feels like there's all these different sort of private huts in here. I mean, this place really well and truly is a fantasy. One of those places that never really existed in the real world, except for in our grandparents' and great-grandparents' imaginations, and of course, they made them a reality. Now, hopefully the majority of this stuff is going to move with Don the Beachcomber to some kind of new location. And I know that some of you probably aren't that interested in tiki stuff, but hey, I figured it was probably pretty important to kind of document as much of this stuff as we could before it's gone forever. Well, look at this. The diners have all left. The waterfall is turned off. Things are winding down at Don the Beachcomber. I guess for the moment, that's just about all we can see. Spike is filled with so many feelings. Eyes sweaty with respect for history. Okay, let's get out of here. It was nice to stop by on pretty much what's gonna be the last sort of empty-ish night of Don the Beachcomber here in Sunset Beach in the old original building. All right, this is it, fella. Closing time. Something, 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 something.
You've done your duty, Don the Beachcomber.
You know what? No, we can't just leave Don the Beachcomber without seeing half of the building, and through the magic of editing, we can come back when there's a full house. Oh yeah, this is better. The parking lot is full.
I've got myself a wardrobe change.
And now we're ready to party. All right, look at these are the rooms that were closed off to us before. Yes, look at this room here, full of pufferfish lambs, and an actual live pufferfish. They got little ones, big ones, green ones, orange ones, red ones. It's like a Dr. Seuss book in here. And this here is just the gateway to the longboard room. Oh, look at this. They've got a lot of live music happening tonight before dawn's closing. Oh yeah, as you can imagine, being located in Southern California, we have a lot of surf history down here. So it's definitely great to have a surf room with surf music playing nonetheless. I can never get over the details in Don the Beachcomber. So many decorations, especially in that pufferfish room. One of these rooms was the gift shop that had all those insane shelves upon shelves full of tiki, Polynesian, and oceanic gifts. You may not be able to buy Polynesian gifts in these rooms anymore, but there's still definitely a lot of nautical nonsense and crazy tiki decorations to see. Feast your eyes on all of this stuff. Look at this bar over here, so richly decorated. How many people have had a drink from this bad boy over the years? Oh, look at this. Crazy fish trap lamps over here. There's tikis on the walls all around us. It blows my mind. Oh yeah, now we can get that up close look at this almost leopard print looking bamboo. I don't know what we're technically supposed to refer to it as, but that's the impression I always get from it. Leopard print or cheetah print bamboo when it's all stacked up next to each other here. Pretty crazy. It's not often often that you can appreciate rare bamboo. Look at this booth right here. Just this booth alone, and the thatch or the decoration on the wall around it. Just this alone in someone's house or in a restaurant would be impressive. Then you turn around and there's more. There's more. So much more. And all of these rooms over here are just the tip of the iceberg. Because if we step through the now much more heavily occupied dining room, you'll notice that this door is no longer walled off. Which means we can finally enter Don the Beachcomber's greatest treasure. The one and only. The most amazing, incredible portal to another tiki dimension. Welcome, my friends, back to the Hidden Village. Would you look at the size of this place? Look at that. Multiple bars, multiple rooms, multiple huts. It really does feel like a hidden village. I don't know of any other place like this. At least not on this epic scale. Look at that. Back in the early 60s, it was known as the Hawaiian Village. And nearly 60 years later, it's still here. Full of huts and Hawaiian shirts and, of course, tikis. It doesn't matter how many times I come in here, I'm always blown away by the size of this room. It's fantastic. And over here in all the corners of these little hideaway huts surrounding this amazing concrete and lava rock mountain. I mean, what other kind of place has so many little nooks and crannies and little areas to peek out at other adventurers? I always wanted to party in one of these little huts. No matter how many times I've come here, I just can't believe the size and the scale of the Hidden Village. There's so many huts and little nooks and crannies and tikis and things I've never seen before. Like, what in the heck is this? Seriously, every time I look, I see something new. Okay, time for us to head from the Hidden Village into this other room here known as the High Talking Chief's Long Room. This is the massive room where all the bands play, and as you can see, it's connected to the Hidden Village through this little area here under this hut. I believe it's called the High Talking Chief's Long Room because of the High Talking Chief over here in this painting up against the wall. Wow, looking around in here, I never appreciated just how huge this room actually is. Look at the size of it. It's got a gun shoe in. I also really love how there's all these little separate hut areas. There's thatch in all the corners. It has its own bar. And it's also home to one of my favorite tikis of all time. I love that guy. Check this out in the corner. There's a hidden lava rock waterfall back here. That's awesome. And back here in the other corner, check out the wall behind this bar over here. It is absolutely covered with ancient-looking tablecloth. That's traditional Polynesian cloth. This alone would be an extremely rare find. I am really gonna miss the sheer size and scale of this tiki paradise. I am really glad we got to take another look at the Hidden Village before it's gone forever. But you know what? It is pretty loud in here, so let's see if we can make our way back into Don the Beachcomber's dining room. Oh my goodness, so loud and crowded in there. Very loud in. Not that the dining room is that much better today. Between our last visit and tonight, word got out about Don the Beachcomber moving and the old Sam Seafood building closing down. And everybody wants to get in on the tiki action before it's too late. Look at this, there's bands playing in the Dagger Bar. There were bands playing in that other room we saw earlier. And any second now, back in the Hidden Village, Spike's band, the Hula Girls, will be doing their last Don the Beachcomber performance. This place was so legendary. So much history. So many wild parties. So many adventures. And I honestly can't think of a better way to say goodbye to the old gal than going and watching Spike's band right now, which is what I'm gonna do. After the credits, I'll show you guys the original ending of this video that I filmed before I knew I had to come back and see the Hidden Village. And I think you'll agree, this is a much more fitting, a much less sad way to end. In full tiki regalia, regalia, watching the hula girls down here one last time. Thank you guys for watching this and all the other crazy Don the Beachcomber adventures we've had over the last couple years. If I had to say goodbye, I'm glad that I did it with all of you. It appears that one last time we've done our tiki duty, and now we can go home and sleep well. Take care, everybody, and remember, support your local legendary entertainment venue before they too, like me, say bye-bye.
So much. Good night. I hope you had a good time tonight. Really, thank you so much. Aloha.
It's time to go home and
cry ourselves to sleep. I like to look at the bright side of things, and the bright side is that it may be reopening in a new location at some point. But it's also okay to be sad, especially at the end of things. And this time, the legend is coming to an end. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully we'll get one more chance at seeing the hidden village later on in this week. But for now, you've done your duty. You can go home and sleep well. Bye-bye. I just want to reiterate really quickly something that I'm always saying, which is look in your backyard for these kind of hidden historical gems, weird places, roadside attractions, unusual restaurants. Try not to take them for granted because there's no guarantees. Even a place this legendary could stick around. Like I said, Don the Beachcomber is looking for a new location. They may reopen with all this same stuff inside. The new place might be even better than the old place. But of course, there's nothing wrong with saying goodbye to an old friend, the old historic Sam's Seafood building. What's the Sam's Seafood in your neighborhood? Try to support it, keep it going, give all these old places all the love you can while you can.
And then you'll have done your duty. You can go home and sleep well.
It's like saying that. I'm gonna say it more times. Tyler,
You should go home and sleep well.
Spike.
Go home,
I want to. Sleepy.
then sleep well.
Good night.
Goodbye to Don's because it's going away. Goodbye to Don's. It's surfing itself away. It's surfing itself away, not into frame.